Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Just going to give the stragglers a couple of seconds to get loaded in. Everybody get comfortable, grab your coffees, grab your notepads. We're going to be going through a lot of great information today. My name is Deanna Haas. I am the SVP of Growth for Sold.com. If this is the first time attending one of our webinars, welcome. We do a lot of these. We try to invest as much as we can into our network to continuously help you guys grow your business, not only with what you receive from sold.com, but also take things that you're going to learn today and bring them into your everyday business outside of sold.com. So it looks like our head count is kind of slowed down a little bit. So I want to respect everybody's time and make sure that we have enough time to get through all of the great information that we have to cover today. So I'm really excited to introduce our guest speaker today, Jason Pantana. For those of you guys who are not familiar, Jason is a coach, trainer, and speaker for Tom Ferry International. We've been lucky enough to have Jason speak with us or for us a few times, and every single time he has amazing content that he's been able to share. And so today, what Jason is going to be talking about is marketing strategies that you guys can take into your business to help you guys grow your business and get more sellers. So today we're going to be talking about listing videos, business profiles, marketing mic drops, mass email campaigns that you guys can be sending out. So lots of great content. So like I said at the start of the call, if you don't have a notepad handy, please grab one. We will also be sending out the recording of our call. But without further ado, Jason, I hand the microphone over to you and let you take the stage.
Thank you for having me today. And thank you, everybody. I see 209 and counting. Thank you, 11. So thank you for joining today. My name is Jason Pantana, for those who are just jumping onto the webinar. And for the next, let's call it 50 to 60 minutes, we're going to go through a fire hose of different strategies that are predominantly focused on helping you generate more listings. So as everybody's piling on, I'm going to share my screen. I have a whole bunch of slides for you. I'm going to make sure you get a link to the slides as well when we're all said and done here today, so that you have those as a reference, and you should be seeing my slides right about now. So Dina, you're going to be my eyes and ears. I can only see my slides. I can no longer see anybody inside of our webinar. So if there is an issue, if you can't see something, if it seems like I should be sharing screens, but I'm not, please stop me so that I can make sure everybody is absorbing as much of the content today as possible. I'd love to connect with you on social media. Again, there's my name, Jason Pantana. You can scan the code. We'll connect on Instagram, YouTube, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, wherever you have a presence on social. I try to remain there as well. I would tell you Instagram and YouTube are sort of my forte platforms. I'm the most active on those platforms. If you have a question, if you have an idea, just shoot me a note over on Instagram. I'd love it if we could connect on the stories. If you're taking photos of the fact that you're immersing yourself in training and that you're a part of this webinar because you're looking to better your skills, to better your community, to serve more buyers and more sellers, then take a photo of it, tag me in a story, and get the word out about the fact that you as an agent are invested in your personal and professional development so that you can be of greater service to your local community. I want to be a resource for you on social and not just here. And as was mentioned before, I have been a coach with Tom Ferry for I joined in 2016. And so he was already on his spree there. The number one coach for the past decade, every single year consecutively. That is according to the Swan Pool Power 200. And the new list will come out again for 2024 soon. I really hope we make it to 11. This one goes to 11, a little Spinal Tap movie reference. But it's been a pleasure to be a part of working with Tom and over 230 coaches like me who are all committed to working one-on-one and in group settings with rockstar agents just like you, helping you improve your skills and generate more business and achieve your goals in your career. Something that's worth noting here is that our coaching company would hardly be of any value if our agents who were a part of the network weren't having success in their own respective businesses. Your success, the coaching client success that is an extension of our success. So when we're the number one coach, it's only because what we're coaching on works with the agents who are a part of our coaching ecosystem. Now, every little detail of what I share here today is coming out of this ecosystem. I am here to basically herald the message of what's working and what's not working amongst our ecosystem of agents. So think of today as kind of a buffet. You can say, hey, I love that tactic. That one wasn't for me. At the end of the day, it's your business, and you get to listen and watch through the lens of what makes sense for you. What are you building? Where are you going? And of everything we talk about today, what's going to help you get where you want to go in your business, which I'm assuming is up. Now, here's what I know. I know the market belongs to those who market. It doesn't matter the market conditions, fast market, slow market, up market, down market, strong market, weak market. No matter how you, wherever you are, would characterize today's real estate market, it always, always will, always has belonged to those who market. Top producers do not ebb and flow their marketing based upon the market. They market regardless of it because they are always going to dominate that market. I don't mean to keep overusing the term market, but we're going to market our faces off. And this is a slide coming up that Tom Ferry's been showing at events across the country here lately. And I just love this slide because it should make you think about what is the opportunity in the marketplace today? How am I going to take advantage? What am I going to do to absolutely load up this year and get as much business as possible? I wonder if you're like a lot of my coaching clients that I work with personally who had record Januaries. February's are off to the races because they're the ones doing the work. Right now, there is a consumer flight to quality. The consumer is looking to work with the most reputable, skilled, and able and competent agents in the marketplace, period. So the question is, does your marketing paint the right narrative of you as the best choice for the consumer? Not because you're the best, but because they deserve the best and you're there for them. It's all about them, not you. But I hope that's a question you're wrestling with on a daily basis in terms of, well, what do your videos look like? What's your marketing look like? And how are you positioning yourself as the agent of choice to your local population of buyers and sellers? Now let's look at this chart for a little bit. Yellow line represents forecasted interest rates, mortgage rates over the course of the year. We don't have a crystal ball, but this is what's forecasted. We have been forecasted a bit of a dip, a bit of a reprieve this year. Who knows if it will or won't happen? It's predicted to, and I'm gonna bank on that. I'm looking forward to it. And the white line represents your activity to front load your marketing so that you can meet the opportunity, meet the occasion head on, and be the most top of mind, the most recognizable, the most known, liked, and trusted agent in your local community place to reap the lion's share of the opportunity that will be there because the market's about to get lit. The market's about to have so much more activity in it. And the question is, are you taking it slow right now? Or are you absolutely doubled down? So we keep asking our coaching clients about front loading their marketing. What does that mean? Well, that means if you had planned, for instance, a holiday event coming up for the Christmas season, possibly, that maybe you consider doing an event now. If you had planned on doing, I don't know, an open house every weekend, that maybe you double up and do 2 open houses every weekend for the next 60, 90 days to front load your year. What can you do in the first quarter to first half of the year to absolutely do more and get yourself head and shoulders above everybody else in your local marketplace in terms of being that most recognized agent? Today, we're going to talk about 5 different techniques or approaches to doing exactly that, to front loading your marketing. Those are listing videos, Google Business Profile, email alchemy, market mic drops, and seller streaming. I'll unpack some of these somewhat cryptic sounding sections to cover over the next, call it 50 minutes, maybe a little bit less, so that you can decide which of these are the ones that fit your business, your goals, your style. Beginning first with listing videos. We're going to talk about listing videos first. If you're taking notes, write down number 1, listing videos, or you could say property videos. I don't mean to say it has to be your listings, but I'm sure you'd agree that in real estate, you really get to market 2 things. You get to market you and your expertise, and you get to market your listings. And I'm sure you'd also agree that when you use listings to market yourself, it's like kaboom. It's this chemical reaction of exposure because it shows the consumer you doing the very thing they think you do, showing and selling properties. It's a sense of you being associated with the sale. And that's what I want for you. I want every prospective seller to think like, oh, you come attached to the sale of their home, because they recognize that in order to achieve the best terms and the best outcome for themselves, they need you to be a part of that transaction because you're the ultimate broker, the agent of choice. From a buyer standpoint, buyers want to work with somebody who's experienced in the marketplace and knows what's happening in the marketplace and who can help them connect to the right property for the best possible deal. It's you plus your listings when it comes to your video strategy. And I'm sure you'd also agree that, hey, there's no marketing medium on the planet quite like video. Real estate is a relationship business. It always has been, and it always will be. It's a know you, like you, trust you sort of business. And there's no marketing medium that is as capable at eliciting that sense of I know you, I like you, I trust you than video. It's video, it's video, it's video. Specifically, it's vertical videos. And even more specifically, it's vertical videos of property tours. I'm going to show you several examples, and they all fall under the banner of property tours, listing videos. And I want you to imagine what you might be able to take back and put in motion in your business as it relates to you showing off listings on social. I want you in the videos so that you gain the exposure and the association of you come attached at the hip of every single listing opportunity, whether it's a buy side or a sell side. I hope that makes sense. We're going to watch this first one, Kyle DeBoer. And I've got a note here about selfie gimbals. You can sort of see his arm is holding a gimbal, a selfie stick, if you will. And he's giving himself a quick cameo in the beginning of this video. And then he switches over to a voiceover narration and he asks questions. And you're going to find this video is incredibly engaging, but it's also very seemingly easy to make. Let's give it a watch.
What can you buy in Bates Hendricks, Indianapolis for $525? Let's go take a tour. Back in Bates Hendricks, but to be honest, I'm not a fan of the exterior, but you'll want to stick around to the end to see the rooftop terrace. Take a look at that kitchen. I love the veining and the marble quartz tops and the two-tone white and maple cabinets keep this kitchen looking modern, yet it also has a warm finish. Past the kitchen and the living room, you have a dining room towards the back of the house, which is kind of weird, but I'm absolutely in love with this floating stairway. It looks a little sketch, but I did survive. But you definitely want to have an engineer take a look at that. Second level has a loft with a porch, and this is where the primary suite is. And look at that shower. What do you think of the tub and the shower look? It's not for me, but I'm curious your opinion. Finally, let's head up to my favorite spot in the entire house, the rooftop terrace. This is where I would spend every evening.
I love the way he talks. Like, hey, what do you think of the shower? He is prompting and probing for comments, for DMs, for people to engage with him. And at the end of the day, it's social media for a reason. It's supposed to be social. So I'd ask a couple of questions. One, how are you leveraging listings and property tours in your video strategy? This particular video is not his listing. It's a builder's listing and he's touring it. Now, he gets the proper consent. He doesn't just film other people's listings and post it. You obviously need the right permission. So make sure you know the rules in your local marketplace, but he gets the right consent. But when people watch, they think, oh, he's the one with the keys to the kingdom. He's the one with access to the listings. It's all about exposure and association. It's about getting the consumer to recognize that you come attached to the property. You are the gatekeeper to the property to help buyers, to help sellers get the best possible terms on their behalf. It's also worthy of mentioning, I found this interesting, 1000 Watt, which is a very large agency marketing firm in the real estate space. They conduct a lot of really valuable research. And they did a survey of thousands of sellers. And they asked sellers, hey, sellers, when you think about what a listing agent brings to the table in terms of that listing agent's value proposition, what is the most important element they bring from a value proposition standpoint to the table as a listing agent? And here's what it said, that sellers cite social media promotion as the listing agent's most valuable tactic. And it said it was ahead of both Zillow and the MLS by a wide margin. Not just a little bit, by a lot. Why? Well, because sellers want to stand out. Sellers are looking at most of the platforms as dime a dozen. Like everybody can do that. I know that's everybody. I want more. And so your ability to tell the story of a listing on social and leverage the media of the day could be that differentiation point between you and the other agents in your community winning that listing opportunity. I'm not saying that your listing video has to be what gets the home sold. I am saying sellers put a high premium on your listing videos. So give the people what they want. And also remember that every sale, had a little issue though, every sale has a story. Every sale, I'm looking at like listing videos, and a lot of listing videos are just kind of static. It's like, here's a house. Do you want to buy it? Hey, call me if you want to buy this house, 555-5555. And I find those to be a little bit mundane, a little bit boring, a little bit disingenuous. And I would invite you to also remember that every sale, every listing has a unique story that a buyer can see themselves in. For example, the video I'm going to show you here is by Roland Assange. He's out in the Bay Area. This video is uber creative. When you watch it, I want you to consider the way he filmed it was he sat his iPhone on a little tripod and filmed himself. He used an AI called 11 Labs, 11, the number spelled out, 11 Labs, and it reads the script as a voiceover. It couldn't have been easier to make this video, and yet look how powerful it is. Give it a watch.
Meet Roland, a man whose life seemed to be working against him. Things always felt askew for Roland, like he was missing something. That was until he stumbled upon 224 North Grant Street in San Mateo, California. For the first time in Roland's life, everything felt right. It was like finding the missing puzzle piece he'd been searching for. The brand new flooring throughout, walls so smooth you'd think they were buttered, a kitchen with soft close cabinets, pristine bathrooms, and the best part, less than a mile to downtown San Mateo. Roland could picture the life he wanted in this home, or rather, the life he needed. So, Roland did what any sensible person would do. He contacted the real estate agent that very day. And the rest? Well, the rest is history. Let Roland's story be a testament to you all. When opportunity knocks and it feels right, seize it.
I love that video so much. The thing about that video, though, is creative as it is, it didn't take a tremendous amount of work. The script was written by ChatGPT. The script was read by 11 Labs. The video was shot on a phone. What's stopping you from leveraging your listings to create more exposure that benefits both the seller and you and your business, positioning you as the ultimate listing agent of choice in your community? One of the best ways to get more listings is to work the ones you've got. Stop trying to get more when you've got a duck. There's an old book from Seth Godin called What You Gonna Do with That Duck? And the whole idea is so many people spend the time of trying to get their ducks in a row that they fail to realize you've got a duck. Use it. So many of us want more listings. You've got a listing. Use them. Now, you don't always get every listing, but that can still be a silver lining opportunity. Allow me to explain through this video here from Shannon Gillette. I believe this is the last video I'm going to play today, but I want you to watch it and notice the screen says hidden calls to action, hidden CTAs. A lot of times I see videos on social media from agents and they are a little bit overt in their approach. Hey, are you thinking about selling your home? Well, call me. I'd love to be the agent who represents you. You can reach me at 555-5555. And they're just overt. And that flies against the grain. That flies against the current of social media etiquette. People are scrolling social media to be entertained, to be informed, and so forth. They want to socialize. They don't want to be sold to. But if you watch Shannon's video, she's selling to you like crazy, only you're not going to even know it. I want to see how many offers, hidden offers, you can pick up on where she's letting you know what she can do for you without actually telling you anything. Give it a watch. See what you think.
Today I learned that a seller I recently met with decided not to hire our team to sell their home. And I think I know why. I will always deliver you an honest, accurate analysis of your home's value. I will never tell you that your home is worth more than it is just to get your listing. The data is the data. It's available for everyone to see, and your home is worth what similar homes like yours have recently sold and closed for. You can't make up this price. It's the data, it's there. And I looked up their listing and it is listed significantly higher than my analysis. I hope it sells for that price. It'll break many records. I hope it does. But I was scrolling through the pictures. I noticed there's no video, there's no twilight, there's no drone. And it breaks my heart because I know that we could have provided more exposure.
I love that video because she makes you very well aware of the fact that she meets with sellers. So she's a listing agent. Now she can give you an accurate market analysis of your home's value. And then she talks about how the fact that this home doesn't have drone or twilight, and she effectively works backwards into all the stuff that she provides as a listing agent, all through the lens of this approach. And it's very genuine sounding. It's very authentic. But what somebody's really hearing is, wow, she does so much more. Wow, I want to work with a listing agent like that. Wow, she really is committed and has integrity in the work that she does. Wow. How effectively are you wielding the opportunity of social media to be better positioned in terms of every buyer, every seller recognizing you as somebody who's successful, who works with a lot of sales, who's not just an experiment, but as an expert when it comes to buying and selling real estate in your local community? And are you leveraging media on social to document that narrative? You get what your content attracts. If I look at your social media and you're making content for buyers, you're going to get buyers. If you're making it for sellers, you're going to get sellers. If you're making it for hobbyists or something unrelated, you're going to get more of that. You get what you attract in your content. That's the real algorithm. You get what your content attracts. Every video, every post is building your brand. So how confident are you that what you're putting out is pulling in the right folks, the right opportunities for your business? Next question. Are you playing the long game? I've been talking quite a bit so far about shorter videos that are designed more for platforms like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, but what about YouTube? One of the power points of YouTube is evergreen views. You're looking at the screenshot analytics of Brad McCallum. This is an 11-minute, 9-second video that Brad filmed touring that amazing property. Brad does once a week. It's called $1 Million Tours. That's his channel. And he tours typically upper end properties in Calgary. And he's an amazing host. I am actually going to show you, I think I've got a snippet of his video. We'll watch maybe some of it. But I want to point out to you that this video has gotten 195,875 views since it was published. It was published a while back, a couple of years ago, and yet it keeps getting views. When you make videos on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, generally speaking, the video is shown through the feeds and then it disappears forever. But when you make video on YouTube, one of the dominant ways people discover new videos on YouTube is through search, which means your video can keep ranking in the search results for years, generating more views. Every video becomes a first impression with such an untapped audience. You can keep positioning yourself. And we remember, you get what your content attracts. So Brad makes listing videos. Guess what he attracts? The answer is sellers. Last year, Brad and his team listed and sold over 100 million in volume strictly off of business generated through YouTube. Because sellers think, I want that, I want more, I want better, and Brad can deliver it. Brad texted me this. He said 1 year later, after publishing that video, this one video is still getting 800 views a day, 3 minutes, 30 seconds on average per view, plus 48, that equals 48 hours of watch time per day. In other words, this video is being watched for 48 hours every day. And it's just one of his videos. He's putting out over 50 videos a year. And it's like every video becomes another soldier in his army. It's this snowball effect of brand. Are you playing the long game? Are you leveraging the media of the day, video and social, including Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube? Are you going long form? Are you going vertical? Are you taking advantage of the opportunities to position yourself as the consummate listing agent of choice in your local community? I hope so. And if not, now may be that perfect moment for you to get started. Number 2 on the list is your Google business profile. If you want to get more sellers, you ought to get your Google business profile really ramped up. It can attract buyers. I'll explain why I'm saying sellers more than buyers here in just a moment. First, be aware that almost half of all Google searches every day have local intent. Now, Google is certainly the flagship search engine on the internet. There's more search activity. In fact, 90+% of all searches on the internet in the US and Canada happen on Google. Google is worldwide the most popular search engine. In the US and Canada, it's definitely the most popular search engine. And think about it like this. Almost half of all those searches every day, the consumer, the searcher is actually looking for something around them, looking for something local. What you're going to find very interesting is that of the stuff they're looking for locally, which is almost half of all the searches, more than 90% of those, the local intent searches, are in fact looking for a local business. Here's what I'm trying to get you to grasp. It's a very, 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 very common practice for folks who search on Google to actually be searching for local businesses, just like yours, just like Tammy Price here, this is her Google business profile on Google. And this has been a gateway to 22 extra closings in 2023. Last year, she had an extra 22 people, mostly sellers, a few relocating buyers, reach out to her. Now, why? Well, stick with me for a second. I'll explain. It's common for a seller to run a Google search like best realtor near me. It's common for a relocating buyer to run a Google search like best realtor San Antonio, Texas. And when they do, the question is, who's Google Business Profile ranks. What's going to happen is Google is going to infer, oh, they're looking for a local business. Let's look through our list of Google Business Profiles that meet the criterion of the local realtor in this area. And Tammy, because she has optimized her profile, she ranks. And because she ranks, she gets inbound calls. You've heard before about a come list me call. I think all of you would like a few extra come list me calls. Well, the power of your Google Business Profile is people call you. They went looking for you. All you have to do is optimize your profile and let it do the work for you. And then they come to you. I think we'd all like a few more of those deals, if I'm not mistaken. Just like Tammy, an extra 22 deals that she effectively generated passively last year. I'm going to talk about a couple of different techniques to optimize your profile to get found by more prospective sellers, beginning with reviews. More reviews, more recent reviews, better reviews, higher rated reviews equals higher rankings, period. Now, right now I've got a screen. You see that it reads review justifications. What you're looking at is a doctored image. This is a screenshot, and I just added some text and blew things up here so that you could see what I want you to see. I did a Google search for best realtor in Huntington Beach, California. And out of the gate, this is second. There's 3 business listings. This is called a Google Map Pack. This is the kind of search we want to win on. This is what I want you to rank on. This is my client here, Sack & Stone Team Realtor. It's Lane and Scott Sacken. And they have a little snippet below it that says he is the best realtor in Huntington Beach. What I want you to do is run searches like this in your local marketplace. Top real estate agent in blank. Best realtor in blank. And I want you to see whose profiles rank, and I want you to pay attention to the snippets that look like this. What's happening is it's a local justification. In other words, it's a review. It's a snippet from a review whereby Google is citing it as the grounds for which it chose to rank this page. In other words, Google's saying, I chose this one because their customers say it's the best realtor. And best realtor matches my search phrase. So the question is, how optimized are your reviews? What are the most important keywords you were coaching clients to include when they're reviewing your business? A lot of you are just asking for reviews and not giving any additional instruction. What would happen if you said, hey, I'm so grateful you're willing to leave a review. When you do, if you can integrate any of these choice keywords naturally, it would mean the world to us because Google's a search engine and is looking for reviews that support these sorts of search phrases. Thank you. What if you included that when you ask for the review? So what are the most important keywords? Well, I've got it broken down into 3 columns. You can read the slides later when I give you all my slides. Nouns, verbs, and modifiers. We're going back to grade school, folks. Nouns, the name of your business. In other words, my name's Jason Pantana. So don't just say Jason was great. Say Jason Pantana was great. Give me some SEO on my own full name. Where did we do business? Jason Pantana is a blah, blah, blah in Nashville, Tennessee. I live in Nashville. The trade of your business, realtor, real estate, realty, real estate agent, any kind of a location or any kind of a trade term that helps Google understand who you are. So realtor, real estate agent, and so forth. Let's use nouns. Verbs. Purchase, invest, buy, sell, list, move, relocate. What happened? What is the action that occurred? And then last, modifiers. These are adjectives and adverbs. These are the terms that describe best realtor, listing agent, luxury agent. Are you getting the gist? What if you came up with just a few choice keywords that represented the terms you really wanted to build authority on, and you lightly encouraged customers to include those keywords when they left you a review? Now, don't make it look like spam. Don't overdo it. Don't over-index. A little goes a long way, a long way to help you rank higher. Now, there's a lot more than we're going to cover today that goes into a Google Business Profile optimization. I got to tell you, optimizing your Google Business Profile is a ticket to more listings, a ticket to relocating buyers, to building your network, to building your book of business. There's a lot that can be done, but what I love about Google Business Profiles is that for the most part, it's set it and forget it. Most of the work, you do it once and then you let it sit. Unlike, think about email. You got to keep sending emails. Think about postcards. You have to keep sending postcards. Think about prospecting. You have to keep prospecting. And I'm all for those things, but it's like once you get on the bicycle, you have to keep pedaling to make it keep going. But with SEO, with your Google Business Profile, you can set it, optimize it, and let them come to you. If you want to go deeper on your Google Business Profile, make sure to check out my course. It's called Google Business Boss. It's part of the Marketing Pro training platform. And I have a discount code in here if you want it. You can scan that QR code right there. It's going to take you to a landing page. You can apply WMP10 at checkout and save 10%. You can get just that course, or there are other courses that are part of Marketing Pro. Remember this, Google is always Googling you. One of the best ways to optimize your Google business profile is to optimize your website. When you set up a Google business profile, it's going to be linked to your domain, your website. And so whenever you make changes to your Google business profile, it's natural for Google to say, hey, does this check out? Do we see symmetry and balance and evenness and mirroring? Does what they say about themselves on their Google business profile reflect what is said about them on their official website? And so Google's always Googling you. With that in mind, here's 4 quick and easy SEO optimizations for your website, not your Google business profile, your website, which influences your Google business profile. One is the title of your website. Make sure the title has a location term in it. If you sell real estate in Atlanta, it needs to say Atlanta in the title. 2, your bio, the About You page, isn't really about you at all. I don't care what degree you got in college. No offense. I don't care that you like to play lacrosse in your free time. That's great and all. But your bio is really about what prospective customers need to know and understand about you so they can feel confident hiring you. Your bio is about the customer. What would it be like to integrate a few choice keywords? I want you to imagine, for instance, what if my bio on my website read something like this, and I'm making it up. What if my bio was Jason Pantana has been proudly serving the Nashville real estate community for 10 plus years, always striving to be the best realtor with whom any buyer looking to purchase real estate in the area or seller with the intention of listing and selling their home in the Nashville community has ever hired, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's loaded with keywords so that Google has context and says, oh, this person is relevant for searches like that. And that's all that Google's looking for is, I want to give the consumer the most relevant result based upon their search query. So if their search query is best realtor Atlanta, they're going to look for the most optimized profile website combo. So how well optimized are you? Number 3, communities. Your website should have the pages for the neighborhoods or communities you serve. So like if you serve north, south, east, west, there should be respective pages on your website for each one. Next is service pages. Service pages, these ones are a miss. Now, I want to go back a step. Some of this might sound like, whoa, Jason, that's a lot of writing. I'm going to address how much copy it is in a second. So just come along with me. I'm going to take you somewhere on this. Most of your websites have pages like, why hire us? Those could not be more cryptic. Why hire who for what? Google has no context. It doesn't understand the SEO importance of that page, and you're missing a critical opportunity. What if you had a service page for all your different services that were very clear, giving clear terminology, the nouns, the verbs, the modifiers, so that Google could pick up what you're putting down, so to speak, and recognize, oh, they're the authority for doing this. They provide these services. So for example, you should have on your website, I think, a web page for helping folks buy a house, sell a house, luxury, investing, commercial real estate, new construction sales, residential development for working with developers potentially. If somebody wants to do a custom build or build their dream home, relocation, maybe joining your team. Imagine having web pages, each of these completely loaded with all the right keywords that give Google a proper understanding of when and for whom your website, your business is the most relevant. Now, if only there was a tool that could help you write all the copy you'll need to put on these web pages. Well, that's right. You've heard of it. It's called ChatGPT. It's called Google Gemini. It's the power of generative writing using large language models. And if you are unfamiliar with what's happening in the space of AI, you are missing a groundbreaking, pioneering opportunity to build market share by multiplying your marketing with the power of AI. And it's exactly why, working with Tom, I've launched a new program called AI Marketing Academy with me. It is a live delivered workshop. It's 8 sessions over 4 weeks with me live, and it will give you a crash course, everything you need to know to deploy and multiply your marketing with AI. You can scan the code and get more details about it right there. It's called AI Marketing Academy. All right, moving on. Let's talk about email alchemy. Your database is probably your best source of business. And when I say database, I mean past clients. I mean sphere of influence contacts. I mean the people who know you and you know them back. They are probably your best source of business. And here's how I know it. I know that per National Association of Realtors research, I know that 65% of sellers, that's like 2/3 of all sellers, of all listings, 65% of sellers found and identified their listing agent by way of repeat or referral business. That's your database. I know that over half of buyers work with an agent by way of repeat or referral. Your database is probably your best source of business, bar none. And so my question is, how are you nurturing your database? How are you finding opportunities within your database? And when I say database, I'm talking about past clients. I'm talking about sphere of influence contacts. I'm even talking about leads, even old leads you've generated over time. The power of a database is prolific. Introducing a subject I call email alchemy. And if you don't remember what alchemy is, it's trying to make things turn into gold. It's sort of a metaphor, if you will. How to turn your list into listings, just like what Matt Curtis has done. Now, this is Matt Curtis. He runs the #1 team in the state of Alabama. I have the privilege of being his coach, and I'm talking to him as soon as I'm done with his webinar, in fact. Let's go through some data points about Matt. Matt has an email list that contains 53,000 people on it. Now, it's not a list he bought per se. It's a list he's generated and accumulated over his career. He gets leads, and they're all on the list. He nurtures them. This is really unprofessional. My dog is sitting at the door whining to come in my office. I'm going to go let my dog in the office. Otherwise, she's going to whine the whole time. I have a little golden doodle, and she's just going to whine out there. All right, I'm back at it. So he has 53,000 recipients. And the data I'm going to show you is the past 6 months. These are leads, contacts, sphere, everybody in there. He's had 12,000 unique clicks on his emails. He sends 2 emails a week, mind you. I'll explain those in a minute. That's pretty good click-through rate. His opt-out rate is 0.3% unsubscribes. Out of 53,000 people getting 2 emails a week, only 0.3% are unsubscribing. It's incredible. Why is it incredible? Well, it's because he's obviously sending them really valuable information, or they would opt out. People don't opt out of value. As long as there's value, people want more of it, always. Over the last 6 months, this email has generated him 45 directly attributable listing inquiries over the last 6 months, which is, I want you to think about this. These are people who are mostly leads who already raised their hand maybe years ago and said, we're looking to buy a house. And then they probably ghosted him. He never heard from them again. They didn't talk to him. And they just got added to the database because they opted in. And now they're looking at his emails. And over time, they kind of resurrect intent. And suddenly they want to sell a house or something like that. So it's alchemy. He's turning his list into listings. A list of all buyer leads, contacts, and so forth. I hope that is like, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. You know, Tom Ferry asks this question sometimes. It's sort of a provocative question. He'll often ask a room, what's the one thing people do every 10 years? And people are like, I don't know what he's talking about. And the answer is the average person about every 10 years or so moves about every 10 years. And so you have to consider that over the course of your career, as you're accumulating a list, contacts, you should never let them go cold. You should always keep the pilot light lit, because you never know when new intent might arise. Well, you know what? I think it's time to move, time to sell. We know somebody who's thinking about moving or selling. And so Matt has never let the flame die. He's always kept in touch, adding value to his database so that when the timing arises again, to buy, to sell, to invest, to refer, he's already top of mind. He's already won the battle because he knows his database is where the money's at. This is the weekly newsletter that Matt sends. He calls it a weekly roundup. And you can see just by first glance, it leads off with a video. So he's obviously creating value-add content on social. And he's using the newsletter as a repurposing tool for distributing his existing organic content. It's possible that people here saw this video on Instagram or on YouTube. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But it's a value piece of content. So he's going to repurpose it in his email newsletter. Now, Matt is using Active Campaign to send emails. I don't care what you use, MailJet, MailChimp, Constant Contact, pick one. He's using Active Campaign. Now, the second section here is a nested call to action. And this is where he's getting the opportunities. He is presenting an offer that is embedded within the newsletter. The newsletter is packed with value. You'll see more of it in just a moment, but he's just tucking in a little embedded call to action. Your home is worth more than you think. Free home analysis, 3 home value. Click. And suddenly he got a new lead off of an existing list. That's the magic. If you scroll down, you'll see he features some listings, and then there's some more sneak peeks. Sometimes he includes additional videos. These are additional CTAs, but they're value add CTAs. Click here for a sneak peek of listings for this email was screenshotted by me in October of this past year. Click here for our open house info for October 22nd. These also manifest or reveal intent. Ooh, I want to see what's out there. Click. Ooh, I want to see what's out there. Click. Suddenly somebody's re-raising their hand and saying, I'm actually in the market again. I'm actually thinking about this again. And so now he knows who to focus his attention on in terms of his follow-up activities. Email alchemy. Turn your list into listings. Number 4 on our list is what I call market mic drops, which takes us back again to what sellers most value in listing agents. And one could make the argument that whether it's listing or buy side, we know the consumer is looking to the knowledge broker. Whatever the market conditions are, the news, the media, everything, make no mistake, buyers and sellers will look to the leadership, the thought leadership of the knowledge broker. If you really think through what is the value proposition an agent offers to buyers, to sellers, it's your guidance. It's your expertise. It's your ability to advise that buyer, that seller on the best course of action and how to proceed in bringing about the best possible outcome, whether buying or selling. Your product, your information product is knowledge and experience. That is what you sell because it's what they're buying from you. A lot of agents think they sell houses. Au contraire, you actually help people sell their own houses by giving them sound advice and knowledge and having expertise that can allow the home to be sold. You help people make the best decision about purchasing. You negotiate on their behalf, but you don't have inventory. You're not a retail business. You're performing a service predicated on knowledge. You're brokering knowledge. There's another 1,000-watt study. Once again, they were talking to sellers, analyzing and surveying thousands of sellers. And they asked sellers, what are the traits you most value in listing agents? And these are some snippets that are telling in terms of the overall feedback that this survey pulled in. 1 said, they gave me optimism and options for selling. 2 said, they pointed out the true potential of a sale. 3 said, they gave me a lot of details that made sense to me. At the end of the day, it's all about being the knowledge broker. I hope you'd agree with me. The question is, does your marketing reflect that you are a knowledge broker? When you go on an appointment with a buyer or a seller, are you that absolute pinnacle knowledge broker, or are you just looking to get a listing? Are you just a salesperson? What does it look like? And my hope for you is that you realize my knowledge is everything. My expertise is what they want from me, and therefore I'm going to work hard through my marketing and in my appointments to speak with the best and most knowledgeable insight, because that's what sets me apart from my competitors. Introducing then ChatGPT OMG. I mentioned it before, and I already told you there's a course or a program I'm offering. It's more of an intensive boot camp called AI Marketing Academy, and we go in depth about ChatGPT. If you've never used ChatGPT, I'm going to tell you what it can do at a basic level now, and then I'm going to show you some more advanced uses for ChatGPT. So this is me in a chat with ChatGPT. All ChatGPT is a chat bot, and it's the chat bot is the application that allows me, the user, to interact with the actual underlying AI model that powers ChatGPT. So I typed in succinctly describe what ChatGPT is and does, as if explaining to a child without using any form of a metaphor. And it says ChatGPT is a computer program that can talk to you by writing. It's like a very smart robot that knows a lot of things and can answer questions, help with homework, tell stories, or even make jokes. It looks at the words you type and then it thinks really hard about what to say back so that it makes sense and helps you with what you need. Most of us think that ChatGPT is simply this. It's a chatbot where I type, it responds, I type, it responds. But in fact, ChatGPT can do a lot more than just text. It is a generative AI, but it can deal with more than just text. There's a mobile app. And in the mobile app, it allows you additional ways to interact with it. I can upload photos. I can attach files. I can have a full-on voice conversation. So look at the camera there. This is the mobile app. I want you to imagine you're out at a showing. and you come across something and the buyer says, what is that? And you take a picture of it and you circle it inside the app. It gives you an annotation option to automatically circle the thing you wanted to see. You're like, what kind of device is this? And then it goes, this device circled is a pressure reducing valve. It's a pressure regulator. And you're like, oh, it's a pressure reducing valve. It's a pressure regulator. So like you can use ChatGPT for more than just text. That's the first point I want you to hear. You can use ChatGPT for more than text. The mobile app, there's other ways to deal with it. There's also this little paperclip icon that allows you to upload data. ChatGPT can receive your data. It can take it as an input and it can output more through data analysis. So I've got here on the screen the different types of materials you can give it. You can feed it documents, spreadsheets, images, videos, PDFs, and it can edit them, analyze them, convert them, export them, create them. I could say, hey, export this conversation into a spreadsheet, and it could. I could feed it a spreadsheet and say, like, I can't figure out why cell C11, the formula won't work. Please figure it out. And it could solve the formula for me. I can upload like 10 videos and say, can you re-encode these from an MOV file to an MP4? And it can give me the new videos. I can say, convert this document into a PDF. I can say, take these two documents, summarize them into a new document. And it can work in multi-modes with different types of materials. Now, that's a lot maybe for your brain to like, I didn't know any of this. Oh my goodness, where's this going to go? There's so many possibilities. The interesting one to me is what a lot of our coaching clients are doing is they're feeding MLS data. Now, a couple of notes. One, make sure you're aware of the rules in terms of usage rights with your MLS data. However, most MLSs allow their users and members to export all the data as a CSV file, that is as a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet can be uploaded into ChatGPT. And then you can begin to query ChatGPT, asking questions about the data to gain a proper understanding of it. So what I do here, this is a screenshot of my MLS. I just ran a search for everything that's sold in the past year, period. And I wanted to analyze everything happening in the local area, period. I exported all the data, every bit of information the MLS had. Now remember, the MLS is public record. Okay, so it's public information because it's a home that's for sale. So I feel pretty okay about this. Be advised though, you are giving data to a third party. So just do that at your own discretion, of course. Once the data is fed in, I start asking questions related to stuff like this, being the knowledge broker, pricing trends. What's happening with pricing? Can you segment pricing trends? What's the difference between new construction and resale pricing trends? And asking questions and letting it parse through the data and give you an understanding of what's happening, micro and macro in your community. Market factoids. I could even like feed it lots of area and say like, hey, this neighborhood, this zip code versus that zip code. What are the pricing trends? This school zone versus that school zone. What are pricing trends? The more data you feed it, the more it can analyze and understand it. Market factoids is like my favorite. This is where you give it a prompt, you feed it all the data, and then you give it a prompt and you say, hey, I'm going on a listing appointment for a home that's a 4-bed, 3-bath, 3,000 square feet, probably around the $750,000 marker in the such and such neighborhood. So it has context for the house. And then you say, I want to say 2 or 3 data points, insights about the marketplace that are going to literally make that seller think I'm a genius. And you prompt it using natural language like that. And what it will do is it will try really hard to make you look like a genius and give you these ridiculous insights about the market. And when you say those things at the appointment, the seller's jaw is going to be like, oh, what? I wonder what else this genius agent knows that I don't know. I need to hire them because you remember and you know they're hiring the knowledge broker. They're looking to the knowledge broker. How can you use a tool like the AI powered by ChatGPT to improve your knowledge base? Measuring absorption rates, running comps and doing comparative market analysis, running competitor analysis. Hey, who are the top 10 listing agents and what's their average list to sale price ratio? Go, boom, export that as a CSV file, please. Asking for a buyer persona. In the AI course I was referring to before, I give a prompt to use all the data. And then as if going on a listing appointment, you can ask it to give you a buyer persona of who's likely to buy the property. Now, of course, my prompt specifies, hey, do not use any fair housing restriction demographic data in your analysis. I don't want to violate or overstep any rules, of course. But then you can go on the listing appointment and say, hey, seller, it's common for a lot of agents when it comes to marketing a listing to just throw everything in the kitchen sink at marketing it and hope for the best. In my experience, what I've found is to be strategic matters the most. So we spend a lot of our time determining who are we trying to reach with this property and then targeting our marketing in the most sophisticated, strategic way possible so that the right target audience sees your property and has desire for your property to bring about stronger offers. Something like that. It sets you apart. What I want you to hear is that at the end of the day, sellers look to the knowledge broker. How effectively are you wielding knowledge to position yourself as the consummate listing agent of choice in your community? Last, number 5 is what we call seller streaming. We're almost done here. And then we've got some special, maybe some Q&A and some special information coming up for you at the very end. Seller streaming ads, I flipping love these. You've likely seen YouTube commercials. These are those pre-roll ads. They're called in-stream ads that play before, during, and after the video somebody is seeking to watch on YouTube. And I would argue to you that as an advertiser, YouTube ads are arguably the most underutilized advertising platform there is. YouTube is owned by Google, so you're really running Google ads, which means you have really amazing targeting options. You can target your market area so that the ads are only shown in your area. You can target only homeowners in an area. You can target people who Google thinks are likely to buy a house soon. The targeting is nuts within Google ads, and you can leverage YouTube ads like the one I'm going to show you here in a minute. Now, this video is by a gentleman named Shane Bergman, and he's in the Space Coast of Florida. Shane's getting 1 or 2 listings a month in his geographic farm, pretty much like clockwork because of this video. Now, when the video plays, you're going to also see on the lower left, a little click button is going to appear. When you get my slides, you can click that and it will give you a step-by-step video of how to run YouTube ads for free. Here's the video that is crushing it for Shane Bergman to generate more seller opportunities.
Vieira homeowners, if you're thinking about selling, here's how our team operates. This is one of our team's newest listings in Tresona Cove. Step 1 was to strategize. We discussed pricing, timelines, and our team's marketing plan. Step 2, we sent in a professional cleaning crew and had all of the carpets deep cleaned. Smells new. Step 3, stage the home. Our team works exclusively with designers to get your home show ready. And in the event it's vacant, we can bring in furniture like this. We don't even know who owns this. Step 4, professional photos, videos, and 3D tours on all listings, no exceptions. And step 5, host a mega open house, AKA launch party. We go all out with food, drinks, and we make it a splash. A well-planned open house will capitalize on exposure and is the most effective way to show a property. Our team loves to host open houses. Go check out one of our team's listings. You'll see the difference.
I love that call to action. You can just click right here and it's going to open up a link to learn exactly how to run YouTube ads step by step by step. I want you to remember this. The market belongs to those who market. Fast markets, slow markets, up markets, down markets, strong markets, weak markets. It doesn't matter what's happening in the market. It belongs to the agent who makes a committed choice to their marketing. What are you going to do to win your lion's share of the business, to front load your marketing right now so that as the market gets more and more frothy, you are the one who can step into the advantage and gain market share in your local community? It boils down to this. Are you interested or committed? What have you heard here today that you're like, you know what? That I'm interested in, but this I'm committed to. What are you going to do to set yourself apart, to position yourself as the ultimate agent of choice in your community? I'd love to know in the comments. If you want to get my slides, here they are. You can go to that website or scan that code. Go to jasonpantana.com/JP-sold or just scan the code. It's the exact same link. And you can go download a copy of all the slides here today with all the clickable links and all the QR codes so you can remember what we talked about and you can take action on everything we talked about. Head to jasonpantana.com/JP-sold. Make sure this is lowercase, the JP-sold. If it's uppercase, it ain't going to work. The JP-sold needs to be lowercase, or just scan the code right now and it will take you to the link to download all the slides. And once again, I'd love to connect with you on Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're on social. I want to connect. My name's Jason Pantana. This has been incredible. And with that, I'm going to turn my screen share off, or I'm going to attempt it to turn my screen share off. And hey, Dina, you're back. Hello.
I'm back. Yeah. Thank you so much. Such valuable content. Just really good. I mean, I'm taking notes myself just to be able to continuously share this with other agents, but it also is useful for our own business. So just really, really good information. One of the key things I took away. So our agents that are on this call are all in our network, and it's
Yep.
actually really cool to see a lot of them are already participating in our guaranteed display program, which boosts their rank in our network. And so I like seeing people that continuously invest
Yep.
in their business. When you talk about, are you committed? Are you interested? I
Yep.
think taking the steps to join the webinars like this are that one step closer to really
Yep.
investing in your business. And
Totally.
now it's taking all the different things that you went through, Jason, and actually implementing them,
I love
right?
it.
And dedicating yourself to it. Because I think the big key thing that I always kind of come across as I've worked in and around this industry is things take time. Nothing is going to be an instant gratification as much as we want it, right? Same thing with working out, right? I get a gym membership doesn't mean I instantly meet all my fitness goals. As much as I hate that it's true, it takes me time, it takes me effort, it takes consistency. So don't go post a one YouTube video and maybe it doesn't do well, doesn't get the traction that you want, and give up, right? Give it the time, give it the dedication, and understand consistency at the end of the day is going to be what's key. So with that, like I mentioned, a lot of you guys that are on this call are already part of our guaranteed display program. And so I think a lot of the things that Jason talked about, one of the key things was when your client, Matt, who has his network and his database of all of the past leads that he's worked on. I think a lot of people discount old leads. And there's just so much gold to that, whether it's the fact that they're now coming full cycle again and it's 10 years later, or when they initially inquired, they weren't quite ready yet. And so again, in our mind of instant gratification, we thought it was a bad lead, so we gave up on it. And so I think it's really important to make sure that for those of you guys who, as it pertains to sold.com, have your database of leads, don't give up on those folks. Sold.com historically is top of funnel sellers requesting valuations on their home. When you initially reach out to them, they are going to be in the just curious phase a lot of the time. Don't give up on that. Create the different, utilize a lot of the methods that Jason shared to create different campaigns and marketing and continuously stay in front of those folks. If you are somebody who's been in our network and hasn't yet received leads from us, how our system works is based off of an algorithm that says, here are the agents that are ranked in the network, and we start to hand out leads based off of how you're ranked in our network. So for those of you guys who are already boosting your rank and increasing your algorithm placement and receiving a higher volume of leads from us, you guys are in a position to have received a lot more leads than you would have organically received. For those of you guys who are not, this is a good kind of rare opportunity to get access to some pretty discounted advertising. If you have not taken advantage of boosting your rank in our system, you're missing out on leads. The fact that you don't have leads from us is not because we don't have them. It's because your peers are grabbing them before they get to you. I'm posting an offer in our system, which is going to give you exclusive chance to take advantage of grabbing zip codes and boosting your rank for $50 each per zip code. Jason, I know you do this for a lot of different companies, and I'm sure that you can probably also attest to the fact that grabbing zip codes and sponsoring zip codes for $50 is probably the cheapest that you can get in most companies and advertising.
I also think what you said is true. Everybody's always clamoring for the bottom of the funnel, but if you look at the reality, most consumers work with an agent they already know, like, and trust. So getting in early on that journey just gives you more time to deepen a relationship and build more longevity with those folks. So the conversion is going to be better over time if you're willing to play the long game. So I definitely think like you're spot on. I mean,
yeah. And it really is that key factor, right? You have to commit to the long game, and we don't shy away from that. I always hope and pray that everybody gets lucky and gets that one client who's ready to go right then and there. But I always phrase it as luck.
Yeah, and you also have to consider, I mean, not to cut into your turf here, what you're talking about, but it's also like, this is a referral game too. Though they may not be ready to do a move themselves, they know people who are. The average person knows 150 people. So all the people in your database times all the people they know there's no shortage of opportunities if you work the list. So anyways, I've said my 2 cents. I think
no, you're good. And I wrote that down, actually. 65% of business comes from repeat and referral business.
And that's just the sell side. Yeah, it's a sell side.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it's just, don't give up on that. One of the things I have in one of my other trainings is when you ask somebody why they're interested in selling or why they were requesting a home valuation, And a lot of times, again, they are going to give you that just curious, or they're even skeptical of why you're giving them this home valuation for free, right? Everybody as a consumer is expecting and waiting for you to sell them something. And so one of the kind of talk tracks I utilize is be honest with it. Be honest of what your intention is, that yes, you are there to earn their business, with a little bit of grace in how you approach it. Jason, at the end of the day, if you are looking to eventually sell your home, I would love to be somebody that you would consider. But part of the reason I do this for free is that in the event that you have friends or family members that are interested in doing something, I hope I've impressed you enough today that you might recommend me to some of your clients. And then that kind of shows I have intention to help you. Yes, I want to earn your business, but also kind of takes the foot off the gas pedal of, yeah, nobody does anything for free. I'm just hoping to impress you enough so that you can spread like word of mouth all the great things that I've been able to do for you today.
I would also say that if you've ever read the book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, they talk about it's about how people become persuaded to work with one person or one business over another. And there's a principle of liking, that people do business with people they like. But liking is this, we don't define liking in our culture properly. We have this superficial definition of what it means to like. Oh, they like the same things I like, therefore we like each other. No, it's not like that. What the book says is that we like somebody when we sense from them that they want for us what we want for ourselves. And so to your point, if you make your outright focus on, hey, I'm committed to helping every buyer and seller I work with achieve the best possible terms. And so I keep talking about this because I want you to understand what goes into having a good transaction, or when you're talking to people, I'm committed to helping people get the best outcomes. The natural human response is that somebody will start to like you because you want for them what they want for themselves, the best possible outcome. So a lot of agents are afraid of looking salesy, and they hide and they play the game of being a secret agent. Or they look for bottom of funnel leads where they feel like it's an obvious overt reason to talk about real estate. I would say you're missing human nature to work on your advantage by doing that.
Yeah, no, it's such a great point. And I think everybody here is obviously taking that step to invest in themselves. And now it's just, and I always tell people, you joined sold.com for a reason, right? It is either to grow your business because you're a brand new agent, it's to create more consistency in your business, or to get that off the ground because you did get licensed really recently. Definitely. And so this is a good opportunity from taking the things that Jason talked about, giving the opportunity of how sold.com works to boost your rank in our system so that you can get those leads from us, top of funnel sellers, start talking to them, build your pipeline, implement these long-term strategies. And again, there are going to be cases that you get lucky. But I try to be as upfront as possible, as most of our clients are converting about 9 months after our initial interaction with them. A lot of times, like, that is really what you want to know, but it's the truth and honest expectation of what a lot of lead sources probably don't share with you. Right. It takes time, it takes dedication. And so for those people who are already sponsoring zip codes, this will give you the opportunity to access a discount again. So you guys will get those $50 zip codes. But also for those of you guys who are already advertising with us, a new enhancement that we just presented is sold.com sets appointments for you. In the case that we don't set appointments for you and we just pass you the consumer's contact details, if you are the sponsor of that zip code, we actually are now eliminating a referral fee on those. So you will only pay a referral fee if sold.com sets the appointment for you. So this is another added benefit of when you sponsor zip codes, you're not only going to be at the top rank to receive all the leads that we get in those zip codes, but also you're going to save money on the back end by eliminating referral fees on anything that we're not setting appointments for. But I've taken time over. Jason, thank you again so much for your time. Thank you, everybody, for investing in yourself and continuing to join us for all these different events. Take access to those slides. I will be sending out an email with the recording as well as a link to the slides that Jason mentioned. So thank you guys again. Enjoy the rest of your days. Bye-bye.